In an exhibition held by Abhyuday, IIT Bombay, there was a presentation put up on the Great Bombay Textile Strike of 1982. The exhibition witnessed a good response by the student community of IIT Bombay as well as kids from the campus school. Not just that, the 3-day-long exhibition was also graced by the District Collector and Magistrate of Mumbai City, IASSmt SampadaMehta, on the concluding day. Here are some excerpts from the interview.
Actually, I must thank you for giving me this opportunity to learn about this, what is described as the most disruptive urban transformation. And I think we should look it as as an event which was probably something that we could not do much about, because it is a part of the way human civilization progresses. So rather than looking at it as one point, we should look at it as a larger event to understand what happened and to take corrective action for the future. As I learned from this very presentation itself, I think it has certain effects in the sense of a generation of large-scale unemployment, but at the same time it created some parallel opportunities. And one activity that got diluted or disrupted, but at the same time some parallel event also took place. Parallel economic activity took place. So again, it is a cycle. One thing stops and one door gets shut, but the other opens at the same time. It was very interesting because it threw open to me so many new things, and the idea is certainly very creative. And I think the message which was passed at the end, that we could correlate something that happened with the trade, these means, with the ongoing, software industry crisis. I think that was the most interesting point, which leaves so many things to think over. Actually, my office does not directly look after these crime groups and unemployment groups. And I think Mumbai has a peculiar situation where, in terms of population, it is a declining trend. The population of the city is going down. Otherwise, everywhere in the country, with every census, we see that there is a growth of maybe 10%, 6%, 5%. But with Mumbai city, because of the land tension, because of the increasing cost of living, it is actually a downward trend. So I don't think there is any much issue of unemployment as such. But yes, people who come from outside and who seek employment, for them having a dignified way of employment, that is certainly an issue. Because if you see the population of Mumbai, we always say more than 60% of the population they reside in slum. So in a way they get some employment, but are they really getting human conditions to live in? That is a larger issue, I think, that we need to really work. Just that whatever population comes to Mumbai to make their living, they should be given, we should have a way that they get more human conditions to make them living. I'm not an insider for the industry, so I may not be able to say what would be the very specific reason. But I think it could be an industrial downtrend, where certainly there will be some uptrend also, upward movement also. And may not be a very perfect solution, but I always think these things will happen. We always say that change is the only constant thing. Even if we take the case of government, the government is also on the, it has adopted the policy of downsizing. Despite a particular number of staff that is sanctioned, despite the sanction strength being so much, the government doesn't recruit the entire strength. It has got certain restrictions, and they are so severe that we can fill in only 50% of the vacant positions. So the government necessarily says that the 50% of the vacancy that will have to stay. even when it affects the efficiency of the government, because every day some new job in the sense of some new thing the government has to address. So the workload actually increases, but still the staff strength is going down. So I think it is a largely a universal phenomenon that everyone looks for downsizing. So I think the solution could be in us. We should look for more self-employment rather than depend on government or some big entities to create and provide employment. I think that allows a greater deal of flexibility, and we'll have to be innovative. Like if one way of employment, one area of employment is not working, we'll have to look for alternatives. And that again draws us to something what we call as the beginning of the civilization. It is only the fittest who will survive. So we will have to look for alternatives, and the one who can really look for them, can find them, will survive. As collector of Mumbai City, we again don't really are involved into policy making. It is again execution of the policy, because my job as collector is to mainly to collect revenue. That is where the name collector comes from, and we are the custodian of the greatest asset of the state, which is the land. So policy making is again a distant job for me. But yes, we do provide feedback to the higher layers of the government, because they want some feedback from the field, so that they make more realistic, more reasonable policies. But when it comes to assessing the success or failure of a policy, I don't think it is very easy to make a policy which is bound to be successful. And no one ultimately desires to make a policy which fails. And there are many reasons why a policy fails. Even if we say that a particular policy has failed, it is not that it has failed 100%. Largely they are successful. But when it comes to achievements of the final end result, probably they are below the benchmark. They really want to see that the policy really yields something that is intended, and at the same time, we are such a society everywhere, not just of India, the entire globe. We are such a society that we have mix of people. Mix of ideas, mix of intentions, mix of abilities, capacities. So that ultimately gives us a mixed result. So it is a reflection of the society ultimately. One thing that I can say as of now I enjoy meeting people. Because that shows me so many areas of life which I don't get to see other things. I get to know so many things which had I not been in that chair, I would not know. So that is something that I really like about this job. And one thing that I would really dislike is when people want result despite your limitations, and you can't really very openly say about your limitations. They could be in terms of the resources of your time, the human resources which we have, both quality as also quantity of the human resources that you have. That is something that I would like to see that it changes. It's a mixed bag, I must say, and it's not only about civil services, it's everywhere. Any private or any government entity, it's always a mixed bag. There is a plethora of opportunities for personal growth. Personal growth in the sense, I mean, we get so much of exposure. Again, time span wise, the time is very limited. So we don't really know how much can we really contribute to the progress of the area, but personally I think it gives you immense exposure, which is otherwise not available, geographically, work area wise. And yes, as we rise up in the career, then maybe more opportunities they get open in terms of policy making, in terms of again going, collaborating with other states, maybe even other countries. Such opportunities could be there. But at the same time, it has certain other effects also. This job is certainly very stressful. When we get transferred out every year or every 2 years, and family-wise, it is a great challenge to settle your family at a new place every time. That is a challenge. I would say know what is your area. So if I talk about the civil services, now the beacons are gone. Earlier that used to be an attraction that we want to get into a beacon vehicle, now they are gone. So please don't come here with some attractions which are only outwardly, the status, the power, they look very good only from a distance. So try to know the job, try to know what you want to do, and please go for something that you feel that gives you peace of mind. Ultimately, there are many ways to evaluate success. Success could be evaluated in terms of money. It can be evaluated in terms of name, fame, glory. What I believe at the end of the day, if you are happy, if you have peace of mind, then you are successful.